Welcome back to the Relaxing Ghost channel here on YouTube. Today we have another Blu-ray review. We have The Dark Side of the Ring, Season 3. This is a custom Blu-ray, like I mentioned. This is honestly, this was one of the greatest series that have ever been produced, on the wrestling side of things. Vice pretty much came out of nowhere with The Dark Side of the Ring, and straight away I knew this was going to be an epic series. From the moment I seen the drop of the Chris Benoit, the trailers and all that cool stuff, I definitely knew that this was going to be a hell of a series. So yeah, let's get into this, guys. This is a 2-disc Blu-ray for Season 3. I do have a note somewhere. So yeah, looking at this, we got Brian Pillman on the cover of Season 3. Pretty cool shots on the back. So yeah, this was I believe the longest of this 3 seasons, and this one I believe had about 10 to 12 episodes here. 14 episodes here, so this is quite a loaded set. When you compare with the first season, I believe it only had about 7 episodes or 8 episodes, something like this. 6 episodes for Season 1. Season 2 was a bit longer with 10. So they definitely upped the ante there in Season 3, 2 and 3 for sure. They definitely sent their feelers out with Season 1, and they pretty much struck gold. And a lot of fans were very interested in a lot of these stories. And look, I'll admit it. Some of these stories I have a lot of knowledge on. Some of them I have very little knowledge on. Some of this stuff was, a lot of happened, during my time as a fan. Some of it happened way before my time. The stuff with, Gino Hernandez and, Herb Abrams and things like that. Collision in Korea, definitely way before my time. Not too much, but it was, in the mid 90s. So decent disc art. I always been a fan of how these were done. We do have a little type of insert I'll run down here quickly, but we do have some kind of confidential episodes, which are, like little recaps of like Season 1 and 2 episodes. With death of Gino Hernandez, Montreal Screwjob, The Last of Von Erichs, Killing of Bruiser Brody, Life and Crimes of New Jack, Last Ride of the Road Warriors, Final Days of Owen Hart, Herb Abrams story, and then we get into Season 3 with Brian Pillman, another 2-part episode, so very cool. I believe that was the 3rd 2-parter. So yeah, this was the start of a second 2-parter. The Benoit was 2 parts, and then I thought the Owen Hart one was 2 parts, but it wasn't. So Pillman did get the 2-part. Very, very well deserved. Each episode runs about, I believe, 40 to 45 minutes. So they absolutely just fly by. If you're into, binge watching episodes and things like that, you'll be right into these episodes and, watch this in a night. Yeah, you got the ultra violence of Nick Gage, Collision in Korea, like I mentioned. Collision in Korea happened in, I believe, 1995, April of 95. Nick Gage, not particularly my cup of tea. I do enjoy hardcore wrestling, to an extent, but I've never really been that big of a follower of Nick Gage or, any, hardcore deathmatch style wrestling. That was never really you know, my style, so to say. When I think of hardcore wrestling, I think of, the stuff WWE does or ECW, and that's about as far as I go. Disc 2 starts out here with Becoming the Ultimate Warrior, Becoming Warrior. This actually aired around the same time, if you remember, with the WWE A&E documentary. So yeah, this, two actually very good documentaries, and two very different documentaries. I believe the audiences of each episode were very biased, in one way or the other. And in WWE's case, they're not gonna say too much that's, off-putting or, gonna, offend too many people and things like that. WWE in a lot of ways does play it very safe, but I thought this did, reveal quite a bit of Ultimate Warrior. And, everyone's going to have their opinions, and, Dana Warrior is a fantastic woman and things like that. And it's a shame, that, he lived a wild life, but I think Vice kind of painted him in a dark space here, dark side of the ring. So yeah, I think it did fit the bill, but I think a lot of the fans of Dark Side of the Ring are kind of like AEW hardcore fans, and these guys read a lot of podcasts, they're on Twitter a lot, and I think they kind of, they take things the wrong way. I think they let themselves get ahead of each other, and I don't know. For me, I always thought Ultimate Warrior was, a hell of an athlete. What happens behind closed doors, we'll never really know. There's definitely some more graphic episodes in season 3 here. The Shadow of Grizzly Smith, another pretty dark episode here. The father of Jake the Snake and Sam Houston, and I believe, what's her name? Rockin' Robin, the father of those three. A very dark episode. Very, very, very graphic episode. We also have another episode of the Confidential series, and this is stuff hosted with Conrad Thompson. I know some people are very critical of him and his podcasts and things like that. I'm actually a very big fan of Conrad and kind of the work he does. So I'm actually very happy for the guy. He's living the dream a lot of us wish we could. And he has the money to back it up. He very wealthy, very successful. He He's not a, professional wrestler by any means. He's, a mortgage salesman and things like this. He owns a very successful business. And, wrestling was just kind of something he did on the side. He's, kind of attached his name to Ric Flair. He's married Ric Flair's other daughter. And, his podcasts are very successful with Bruce Pritchard and Eric Bischoff, Jim Ross, and, several others. So, I know a lot of people that, are very critical of Conrad Thompson and things like that. So, I do enjoy his work quite a bit. Dynamite Kid, another very graphic episode. I actually really enjoyed that Dynamite Kid episode. It was very sad, man. Just seeing the state that Tom Billington was in towards the end of his run there. The plane ride from hell, something that, is very real and probably happens a lot more than we realize. Double Life of Chris Kanyon. We got Blood and Wire, Onita's FMW. Again, I'm not too familiar with the Japanese hardcore kind of wrestling. I believe this stuff was around about the same time as ECW. And, there's several DVDs out on them. I do not have any of those. So if you are interested, check eBay. They're definitely around. We got Bikers Bombs and Bedlam Johnny K9. Again, someone who I'm not too familiar with. We have The Many Faces of Luna Vachon. Again, another pretty graphic episode. We got Extreme and Obscene Rob Black's XPW. Something, that came around and was gone pretty quickly was XPW. Then we have the end of the season, episode 14, the steroid trials. Something that happened in the mid-90s. Vince McMahon was tried against the federal government for steroids. Very, very crazy stuff. Also included here is Vice Versa, a China documentary from 2021. So that is very cool. I believe I have seen that on YouTube. So I'll have to watch it again for a quick refresher. But this set did come with a couple of inserts here. Pretty cool. Like I mentioned, these sets are quite loaded. And there is a bunch of extras here. So pretty much there's an extra for each episode here. So we got 14 episodes between the two discs. There's pretty much an extra per episode. We have 2 for Brian Pillman, including Pillman's Got a Gun, and the stuff on Raw regarding the death of Brian Pillman from November of 96 and the night after Bad Blood 97. We have Nick Gage versus Thumbtack Jack from June 6, 2009. Ric Flair versus Antonio Inoki from the Collision in Korea event. We have Ultimate Warrior's Last Night on Raw, April 7th, 2014. We have Jake the Snake visiting Grizzly Smith from 1999. Not sure if that was on Smoky Mountain Wrestling or something like this. This was pretty cool. We have the Dream Team versus the British Bulldogs from WrestleMania 2. We have several interviews regarding the plane ride from hell. We have a couple of interviews with Howard Stern and Chris Kanyon. Almost an hour Chris Kanyon on the Howard Stern show. We have Onita and Goto versus Sabu and the Sheik Ring of Fire match, May 6, 1992. Bruiser Bedlam versus Cactus Jack in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Luna Vachon versus Stevie Richards in a steel cage match. This was ECW, July 15th, 1995. We have a shot of Supreme on Fire, July 7th, 2001. This was from the Rapture 2001 event on about the XPW. And then we have a WWF TV spot where Vince is breaking kayfabe, talking about the WWF trial, December 2nd, 1995. And then the China documentary does run about 90 minutes. So there we have it. Let me know your favorite thoughts and your favorite episodes from Dark Side of the Ring Season 3. For me, it was probably the Brian Pillman episodes. The plane ride from hell was very cool. I'll be honest here, I did miss a couple of the final episodes, so it's going to be cool to catch up on some of those. But a lot of this stuff was pretty much known to me. But the Bruiser Bedlam, the canine stuff and things like that. Pretty good stuff. Ultimate Warrior, controversial episodes. So let me know some of your favorite thoughts or your favorite moments and episodes from Season 3. As always, we'll talk to you later. Peace.